Now they're cheering for me.
I know why everybody's here. Give a problem.
Yeah, we give a bump.
Sorry guys, I hate to do this to you.
It's a recurring problem.
Boys, you don't play.
Give her something.
What was that for you?
Misha. Je ne sais pas. Misha. Je ne sais pas. Misha. Je ne sais pas. Misha. Je ne sais pas.
You know what? If you don't mind, we're going to stay backstage and have a little scotch. Us girls, I'll have some scotch on the stage. Grabbed by strangers and rolled up and taken to a place you don't know and smoked and got up and made a smoke meeting. This is Montreal. Misha didn't want to eat it right now somewhere on a bagel, a Montreal bagel. Dear God, eat it local land steak. We brought it. You got here. And eat it.
Je ne sais pas. Où est Misha? Je ne sais pas.
Turned into a love slave. Yes, I'm trying to live somewhere. In a love cave. They're having Misha. Didn't wait till Sunday. Oh my God, it's a Misha Monday. And what we did forever and get it. I'll be honest, they're probably all suspended. Dear God, I think we've lost them forever. What are you gonna do, Rob? Help me.
Je ne sais pas.
Robbie, seriously, je ne sais pas.
Really? Où est Misha? Je ne sais pas. It hasn't been this bad since a little bit ago. We had that one convention when he never showed up, and then he showed up. But everything ran late, started the concert at like 1 in the morning, and we said, Misha, don't do this to us. He said, who you guys? Never seen you before. He said, haha, funny joke, Misha. Then he said, I'm not really kidding, I had no idea.
Over here. There's some worst area ever. What is pooping? Nothing good news.
He's just pooping. He's laying a deuce.
Laying right. You got the big brown snake coming out the south end of the drain. You gotta lay it out. Oh my God, he got the drop out. Long brown one in the portable. He got the double dip and shitting. Now finally you take the robots, Judge Judy. Everybody has to do it as part of the bodily function. You stand the amendment of our friend Misha. And I'm proud to say he's taking a boot. He's moving. Yes, he is. He's moving.
Yes, he is. Must be.
Damn right he is. He's moving.
Yes, he is.
Get him out here. So, light on his feet, feeling great, not stuffing all that you okay? I don't think Misha should never be here, so when you wake up, you can say, for 45 minutes, you know what? Questions answered, I'm good. Money well spent. So, where's Misha? It's not good. There's Misha! You do seem light on your feet. You don't have a care in the world right now.
No, I just had a very cathartic experience with the porcelain convenience.
I had a hunch.
That's not true.
Or is it? Yeah, it's true. Misha, have you been in, did you just get here? Have you spent any time here in the city?
I have. I got here at 7:30 this morning, so.
Oh, so have you been around and doing stuff?
He took a picture next to the Notre Dame.
I don't follow.
I'm blocked on Richard's.
I don't follow on social media.
Right.
This stuff creeps me out. But have you tried any of the food?
I have.
What'd you have?
I had a bagel with lox. I had some of that smoked pastrami.
Yeah.
That was in the green room. Pardon me? Smoked meat?
They're telling you need to smoke some meat. I don't know what they're suggesting you smoke meat.
When in Montreal.
When in Montreal. Thank you, good night. Guys, sorry it took so long to get there.
No, it's okay.
Normally we get there more quickly.
No problem. I'm going to make this official. We're going to get the hell off the stage. Good people of Montreal, please say bonjour. Can we bring it down?
Pretty much everybody, like not everybody, but all of the cast and a bunch of the crew on Supernatural starting this past Monday, we did a juice cleanse. Somebody was like, somebody in the makeup trailer was, I'm gonna do a juice cleanse. Anybody want to do it with me? And then somebody else said it, and then everyone was like, oh, god damn it, peer pressure. And then next week, everyone was doing it, and everyone got really angry, and everyone was nasty to each other, and everyone was watching one another like, why are you going into the craft service tent? What are you doing? I had my daughter with me one day, so I could be like, oh, just grab the snack for Misha. Yeah, she follows 4 donuts. I don't know why. Anyway, we did this juice cleanse for 5 days. I haven't done that in a long time. Remind me of the story. Speaking of porcelain convenience, so this is a sidebar, and I apologize for this. Vicky and I, a long time ago, like 15 years ago, maybe? No, 10 years ago? I don't know. No, I was on Supernatural. It wasn't that long ago. It was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Anyway, we went and we did this, we went to this like health retreat place where it was basically a juice cleanse, except for there was no juice. And it was it was set up like this walled compound, so you couldn't really get out, and it felt scary and cultish and like a prison, and the only thing you could drink was water and wheatgrass juice, which basically makes you want to throw up, especially on an empty stomach. And the other thing is they would give you these colonics, which is, if you haven't had the pleasure, it's such a delight, of wheatgrass juice. And so then we got the idea to do this photo shoot in it was like this purpley white bathroom in our room. Like all the walls were white, all the fixtures were, everything was white. And we did this photo shoot of ourselves. Why am I showing this? Naked, but with like wheatgrass juice like splattered all over, like naked in bed, like sprawled like across the toilet or across the tub, as if like there had been a horrific murder in there, and we had bled out wheatgrass juice. It's a pretty funny series. I'll share it with you. Probably not. Anyway, long story short, we did this cleanse, and everybody come Friday evening, everybody was like, I feel great. I feel so healthy and vibrant. I feel like I'm 10 years younger, 10 pounds lighter. And then this morning in the green room, there were these giant vats of smoked pastrami, just like piles of like red. Trying to get me to say smoked meat, huh? Piles of smoked meat with like a marbled fat and loaves of bread, and everyone was like, blah, 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 blah. And instantly undid the weed of health that we had. So yeah. Well, it's very exciting to be here. The last time, do you guys mind if I just chat for a second? No. I feel like this is a totally one-way conversation. I feel totally rude. Really monopolizing this. The last time I was in Montreal, I was 8 or 9 years old. It was a long time ago. We drove up from Western Massachusetts, where my family lived at the time. It was me, my mother, my brother, and our dog, and we had this old Le car, Renault 5. You know that car? It's like a Mini, basically. We went on this like 2-week camping trip, completely packed to the gills in this Le car that even as children felt like a toy car. And along the way, somewhere in Quebec, we stopped at this like little zoo. It wasn't a petting zoo, but it wasn't like a real zoo either. It was just this tiny kind of roadside zoo. And there was this enclosure with a chain link fence with mountain goats on this really ugly like concrete pile, like a little concrete mound that was their enclosure. They looked really miserable. And I climbed up onto the chain link fence to sort of get a little bit higher and to peer at them. And this big-horned, sheep saw me and was like, I fucking hate that guy. Charging down the mountain and butted me with his horns, and I just like flew off the fence. And then my mom bought me ice cream. She's like, I'm sorry, and like the people at the zoo are like, whatever. And then they had this little machine there that dispensed, it was like dog food, but it was for the bears in the bear enclosure. You could like get some dog food and throw it into the bears. And the bears were just in this pit with this little concrete wall. And I had a handful of bear stuff, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Oh, cool. Like, all right, I'm recovered. And I like this. The food in my hand, and the bear came and of course bit my hand. And my mom got a photo of me biting my hand. So that was the last time I was here. So I'm super excited to be back. That was a really great experience. I have to say, actually, all of us have been very excited about coming to Montreal. It feels like an exciting adventure to be here. stone me.
What happened to the whole middle section of the audience? Did somebody fart?
Jared's not here yet?
Seriously, why are there all those empty seats? They didn't sell?
Are they like gold seats or something? Oh, I see. To punish people, we leave those empty instead of just moving everybody forward. Hi. How are you?
Hi.
Hi. This has been a lovely conversation. Where are you from?
Montreal.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's that on the map?
Um,
Were you born here?
yes.
Okay. Do you plan to stay here?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good review of this.
The poutine is really good here. Yes. Very.
What makes your poutine better than my poutine?
The fact that it's here.
The cheese?
Yeah, the cheese. The cheese.
So, is it just cheese curd?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly like what we have in Vancouver. You people are so provincial. You've never been out of Montreal. You don't know. You know what? Next time I come, I'm going to bring some fresh poutine from Vancouver, and I'll show you. But in order for it to be a fair comparison, you have to let yours sit out in the cold for 7 or 8 hours too. So it's a fair comparison. This is almost an impossible thing to do a side-by-side comparison of because those two poutines could never get to the same place warm. You see the problem with this competition? It might be one of science's great unsolvable problems. But we digress.
So my question is, have you always wanted to be an actor, or did it just sort of happen?
Being an actor for me represents a colossal failure in my life. I was always delusional as a child, and I thought that I was going to, from a very young age, I thought I was going to go into politics, and I would tell people, and maybe this is why I didn't have a lot of friends, that I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to try to be president or senator or something like that when I grow up. And so that's what I used to think I was going to do when I grew up, was go into politics. And I was really determined to be on that track for a long time, all the way through college. I never let people take compromising photos of me or anything like that. Politicians, they gotta have a squeaky clean past, as we can see. You can't have had any transgressions if you ever want to get far in politics in America. I mean, sure, you can have sex with a bunch of porn stars and stuff, but you gotta keep it buttoned up. And then I interned in the White House, and I worked at National Public Radio for a little bit, and I got sort of a perspective on politics that was a little unseemly. It was like watching the sausage get made, and I thought, oh, I don't want to be involved in this. This is terrible. And so I moved to Hollywood. Do something with integrity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Okay. So just before I ask the question, can I make a small request to say bye to my best friend who's in the 7th row over there?
In the center row?
Seventh.
7th row. Hi, Catherine. How are you? Good. Were you expecting this?
No.
Is it embarrassing?
A little bit.
Yeah. sorry. I hate friends like that. And what is your question?
So, do you have an embarrassing drunk story about
Absolutely, I do not. No, I don't. Is it a lie? Yes, it is. I don't know if we're supposed to share these stories. But this is one that's sort of borderline. So it was when I think it was maybe season 5. I was fairly new on, I think it was season 5. I was fairly new on the show, and there was this fancy meal with Trefethen wines. It was like coming to a wine pairing with a fancy meal at a fancy restaurant that's now closed down in Vancouver. And one of the I think that he was maybe the sommelier or something at this restaurant, invited us to come to this wine pairing. And he said, come over to my house first and we'll have a couple glasses of wine before we go. And he lived nearby, and so we did. By a couple, I mean several bottles. And then we went to this wine pairing, and the Trefethen Winery is this California winery, and Janet Trefethen was there. And it's a very prestigious, apparently very well-established vineyard. And we were seated, me and Jared were seated one on each side of Janet Trefethen at the table. And we proceeded to have more wine, which is their fault. And eventually, Jared does this thing that is one of my favorite things that he does, which is he masterfully plays stupid. So, Janet was talking about like getting the wine just right, and she was talking to the whole table, which was like this long banquet-style seating thing, and everyone was wrapped and listening very carefully. And she said, and sometimes, we need to get a little more acidity. And Jared said, how do you make it more acidic? Do you put like batteries in it? And he said it totally straight-faced. And she was like, he's like, no, I mean just but what kind of batteries do you put in the wine to make it more acidic? And he just kept on with it. And he was like, no batteries. And he's like, well, I mean, obviously you need the batteries out before you put it in the bottle. And it sort of escalated, got more ridiculous. We were really sort of not taking the whole event terribly seriously. We drank more wine. Jared and I each tried to pay for dinner. Both of us ended up tearing one another's credit cards. He had a fancy credit card, so his was rushed to his door by 8 a.m. the next morning, and mine took 2 weeks to replace. But anyway, it was a sweet night. The dinner wasn't over when we were invited by the manager of the restaurant to the bar for a drink, and we were like, oh, well, thank you very much. You want to go to the bar for a drink? And we were like, absolutely, yes we do. We went to the bar, which was in the other room. The bar was closed, and they just kept on escorting us around. Yeah, whatever. I mean, to say that I, woke up in my own vomit would not be that. It was one of the worst nights, one of the worst next days that I've ever had. But there was a sort of silver lining, which was that Jared had to shoot the next morning.
Do you know what he was shooting?
Do I know? You want to go back and look at the scene?
Yeah.
I actually do, and I'm not going to tell you. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was a good night. That was a fun night with sort of a bad after effect. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, were you afraid or was it hard to break the barrier from it just being a show about monsters and demons and bringing in the religious aspect of aliens?
Was I afraid of that?
Like, what was it like, and did you have any fears or hesitation about it?
Okay, so when I came on Supernatural, I had never seen it before. And I knew it was like some weird Buffy, like boy Buffy. Like Dukes of Hazzard Buffy show. But I didn't really know what it was about. I watched a couple of episodes like right before I got on, but it was still very confusing to me. And so I didn't really, I mean, I guess I understood that I was the first angel on the show because they told me it. And if you say something to me very clearly, sometimes I understand. But I didn't really know the universe that well that I was getting into, so it didn't feel that strange. I think that if I had known Supernatural better, I think I would have played Castiel more naturally, like not such a strange character. But because I didn't know the universe I was getting into, I created this character that was a little bit strange. So I wasn't daunted terribly by it. I was just miscast.
Hello. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
I am fantastic.
Did you say fantastic? Only in this company can we say that. Proud to be such a minority as white men. Yes, sir.
First of all, you're awesome.
Oh, okay. Here, go on.
I was a huge fan of the anime back in season 1 and season 2 came out. I just wanted to know if there was another adaptation of the anime, would you play yourself in the dub version?
I would hope that they would give me that opportunity. I'd be really pissed off if like they let Castiel voice be recorded by Mark Pellegrino. There's an obvious other choice here. But yeah, that would be cool. I would definitely want to do that. I mean, we did this Scooby Natural episode, which was just so extraordinary. That, for me, was a real pinch me moment. I just couldn't believe. You know, I don't know. It was really surreal. I mean, I grew up with Scooby-Doo, so I watched it, you know, whenever I was at a friend's. My mom didn't let me watch TV, but when I was at a friend's house and I would like catch some TV, Scooby-Doo was always on, and it was always one of the things that like, oh, cool, Scooby-Doo is on, and everybody of my generation knows those characters, and it's a very familiar universe. So to suddenly be thrust into that world and just see myself animated in a Scooby-Doo episode, like literally caressing Shaggy and Scooby. That's so awesome. I mean, it's just so cool. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, there have been a handful of moments like that in my career where I felt like I was having like this brush with a cultural phenomenon that had a personal meaning to me, and that was one of them. The other big one for me was when I was auditioning for the role of Anakin Skywalker up at like Skywalker Ranch with George, like it was just me and George Lucas's office playing with, you know, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, you know, and I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. It's so amazing. I've told that story before, right? No. Most people haven't heard it. No. Hayden Christensen beat me. So clearly I hit it out of the park. So it was top secret who was even in the running, because it was down to like me and 5 other guys for the role. And when I got picked up from the San Francisco airport, I was not allowed to tell the driver why I was going to Skywalker Ranch. Like, it was that much of a secret. I was only allowed to talk about it with my agent, and if I told anyone else, I would be fired. If I would be taken out of the running. They were very, very strict about this. And they even put the fear of God in us. They told us that the kid that had played like the 5-year-old Anakin Skywalker, he was their second choice because they cast somebody else and told people about it and they fired him. So I was like, oh, all right, I'm gonna be really good about this. So I went up there, I got up there early, and so I just went for a little walk in the woods, and there was this llama farm, and I was like looking at the llamas through the fence, and went and I had this meeting with George Lucas, which was just surreal, and I was so excited, and I just wanted to tell someone. We stopped off at a rest stop on the way back to San Francisco, and I took out my phone, and I was like, I'm gonna call my best friend, and just like tell him. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And so I put the phone away. I had a few hours before my flight, so we went into the city. My driver took me into the city, and I was on Haight Street, and I just went into this pizza place. By the way, it's like an hour and 20 minutes from Skywalker Ranch to where I was in San Francisco. Went into this pizza place, ordered a slice of pizza, and then there was this sort of like pimply-faced teenager behind the counter, and I was like, I just have to tell somebody. I have to tell you, I was just up at Skywalker Ranch, auditioning for the role of Anakin Skywalker. I was playing with Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, like with George Lucas. It was just the most amazing experience. And he said, no way, that's amazing, man. My cousin is Natalie Portman. My parents own the llama farm adjacent to Skywalker Ranch. And I remember I started stumbling back and all the blood. I was like, no. And he's like, what's your name? And I said, Misha Collins. I said my name. And then I had this limp piece of pizza and I walked without taking a bite. I walked all the way back and I went in and I was like, please don't tell anybody. I mean, literally the worst person in America that I could have told. And the only person that I told. So that was real positive. Yeah, I was really, I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I could have had a great career. That's for my big mouth. Let me answer a question. Are we good? Thank you. Thank you for being so fantastic.
I'm Terry from South Dakota.
Hi.
I was
That's
wondering
close by.
if you could act with any actor or actress alive or dead, who would you want to act with?
Live what? Probably Stormy Daniels.
How did you and your brother get into gymnastics?
What?
Sorry. How did you and your brother get into gymnastics?
Oh, how did me and my brother get into gymnastics? Well, really, it's my brother primarily that's into. My brother does acro yoga, which is this kind of new circus yoga phenomenon, and he's quite good at it. He has always been very acrobatic in finding and being dangerous. He and I used to take gymnastics as children, but I don't think that's why this is happening. Do you follow him on Instagram?
No, but I will.
You should, because he does these amazing things where he spins people on his feet
Well, I have seen that. I saw
balls.
the group, and
Yeah, he's done it with Ruth and Elena and basically anyone that will let him. So my brother came to visit at a convention not too long ago, and he was in Jersey. Thank you for remembering something. And and it was pretty great because in the green room, my brother has this whatever he's into at the moment, he's just like, all right, hey, anybody want to do this thing with me right now? So he walked into the green room, he's like, who wants to do a little acting, you guys? And right away, he was like, he had Matt up on his feet, and you know, everybody else in the green room took a turn. He really got around. And he does that everywhere he goes. Like if he's at the airport, you know, and there's a connection, and he's got a little time to kill at the gate. He came out to visit me recently, and he was like, he had a layover in Cleveland, and he was waiting at the gate. He was like, oh, we've got 20 minutes. And he's like, hey, anybody want to do a little acro? You don't want to you want to do acro? And he's not this like pudgy middle-aged man to like basically do the airplane on his feet. He's wearing like khakis and a belt and his pants tucked in, and he's like flying on my brother's feet. It's the greatest photo ever. It's so great. That's my brother.
Thank you.
Hi, Misha. If you were to write a scene that highlighted Castiel interacting with Mason and West, what would we see on screen?
Well, I have a feeling it would involve them tricking him somehow, and him falling for it. My kids love to trick us now. They think it's so funny to make us think that one thing is going on when it's another thing. And they'll just laugh and laugh and laugh when they pull it off. And the tricks are basically usually one of them pretending to be mortally wounded. So they both mastered crying and shouting like alarm, like, oh my God, Mason's bleeding out! And then we'll come in and they're like, we're just kidding. And as a parent, it's so charming. You just love it. So yeah, I can imagine Castiel really falling for that again and again. And that would be kind of fun to watch. Yeah, they're pretty sadistic. Thank you. Thank you. I think they might also get him to do magic for them, or like, you know, he can't teleport anymore, but maybe, you know, get him to move things around the room with his powers, or lift up heavy objects and things like that. I think I posted this video not too long ago about where we were discussing in bed, as I was going to sleep, we were discussing, I surreptitiously recorded them, as we were discussing magic and the properties of magic, and they really think it's the real. They know that, there's children in this audience, they know, like all children, that magic is real. And they were sort of questioning how much magic, they're like, Dad, I know you possess a little bit of magic, but you're not like that magical. Like, I'm sort of disappointing in the magic part. Although, to my credit, I have a small amount of magic. And then Mason made that declaration, and then Wes was like, but like, where do you get magic? I mean, they were really like breaking it down, like kind of scientifically, which they're increasingly doing, which ultimately leads to finding out that we've been lying to them for years. Dreading that day. I did like a treasure hunt for my son's birthday, and he invited like most of his class to come along on the treasure hunt, and we had been sort of sowing the seeds I had been sowing the seeds for some time about Sir Ian Drake, who had like come and visited this house. We live in like a 100-year-old house. Come and visit this house a long time ago and left behind treasure. And so they keep on finding these like old, you know, oxidized notes that leave clues as to where to find caches of real monstrous fist-sized diamonds that we find. It's very exciting. So we went on this treasure hunt, and we brought all the kids on this bike ride, and we kept on finding more treasure everywhere. Like every clue, we followed the thread, and it wound up with more treasure, and everywhere, this is amazing. And now all of the kids in the class on their birthdays are like, I'm doing a treasure hunt for my birthday. And the moms and dads are like, totally ruining it. They're totally ruining it. They're being like, yeah, I bought a bunch of treasure stuff and I hid it for the kids, and they're talking about it. I'm like, oh, you're killing the magic. And now West's friends have confronted me with West, accusing me of being a liar. So now I did this great treasure hunt, and now all of the children that my children know hate me for it. Because of the other parents. This is my cry for help. I just noticed that I was actually just venting. Children's birthday parties. Sorry, guys. Hi.
My question is, we know everyone of the actors takes a piece of the show to their homes. So what have you learned of Supernatural along, like, during your filming?
What have I learned from Supernatural? What?
Like, what have you learned of Supernatural?
Have I learned anything in the past 10 years of work?
Well, one thing I learned in the course of working on the show is that they do not increase the acidity of wine in the bath. It was a big surprise to me. I think actually and I hope I'm understanding your question correctly, but I think the thing that I have learned the most from working on Supernatural is the value of having a really hard-working, expert group of people to work with. Our crew, everyone is so good at their job on our show, except for the actors. And everyone works so hard, it's unbelievable. I mean, that crew will show up and work 13 hours a day, 5 days a week, for 14 years. I mean, it's remarkable. And no one complains, and no one drops the ball. Everyone carries their own weight. And I have learned a lot from actually working with a group of people that work that intensely and that successfully together. In some ways, and it's not like being in the military, but in some ways it feels like it's run like a kind of military operation. Like everyone has their roles, everyone runs according to a clock, everyone shows up on time, everyone does their job. So that has, I think, affected the way I approach work in general. I whine a tiny bit less than I used to, unless it's, of course, related to a birthday party. Then I can't hold my tongue. Yeah. All right.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hi.
So you played a whole bunch of roles on the show, from Jimmy Novak to Steve to yourself.
Oh yeah.
Which one was your favorite to interpret and the funniest?
Well, I mean, I think my favorite actually to play I really liked playing Lucifer because I got to copy Mark Pellegrino, and he did a good job. But also I got to play that character for quite a while, so it was nice to sink into that. So I enjoyed that. But I think the most fun was probably playing Misha. That episode, The French Mistake, is so great. And when I got the script, I called Ben Edlund, who was the writer, and I said, Ben, can can you make my character a little bit more of a douchebag? I want Misha to be the quintessential douchey actor. And I think they were like, yeah, that's how we wrote it. We wrote it like you, normal. So anyway, they didn't make very many changes, so I embellished it a little bit, and I just made the character really as unappealing as I could. Like I pushed the hair, like the woman's working on my hair, and I just pushed her away. I don't do that in real life. I just slap in real life. So anyway, I tried to make the character as douchey as possible, and I remember my manager at the time, after the episode, called and was like, Misha, it was so cool to just get to see you play yourself. That's how he thinks of me, oh my God, it's but everybody had so much fun with that episode, because there are a lot of layers to the French Mistake. There's this layer where you watch this show and it's kind of surreal, and you understand that they're breaking the fourth wall. If you know the show well, you are familiar with like the names of crew members and stuff like that, or producers, you get some of the inside jokes. But then there's this deeper layer that's only for the people who work on the show. There's all these inside jokes that you would have to know the people working on the show in order to get the jokes. And that was incredibly gratifying for all of us, because we just got to take the piss out of each other.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jared really does have an pack, by the way.
Hi there. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Well, you are sharing your birthday with us.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
thank you.
Where are you from?
Well, I grew up from Vermont.
Oh. Are there a lot of worm holes here? I love Vermont. I spent a lot of time there as a young person.
Me too.
I grew up sort of right on the border of Massachusetts and Vermont, so we would go swimming in Vermont, or go to Brattleboro, or Putney. Yeah.
I have a question about the writers and how they interact with the actors. Because you guys have so many cool mannerisms and little things you work in to each character that's very distinctive. And I was just wondering how much of that comes from the writers and how much do you guys help with the creative process?
Well, I can give you a little insight. We just did a panel for the Scooby Natural episode, and somebody asked a question about the big empty, in which Castiel, and there's the empty Cass, and then there's Cass in the empty, so there's two characters there. And the empty Cass, that character, had a kind of weird accent. And the showrunners of the show, somebody asked a question, and they were like, yeah, so we got the dailies back, which is the footage from that day, and we only had one day of shooting for that. We got the dailies back, and we were like, what the fuck is here? So clearly they loved my choices there. But to be honest with you, there is a remarkably small amount of interaction on our show at this point between the writers and the actors. Mostly the writers, Bob Singer is involved in the writing process quite a bit. He's one of our showrunners, and he directs some episodes. So that's one sort of point of interaction where there's somebody that has a little bit more of an understanding, or an intimate understanding of how the story developed, and he's there interfacing with us. But that's only a few episodes a year. And otherwise, we don't really have that many writers on set, and we're not on the phone with them that often either. So a lot of it is, at this point, a division of labor. And they do their job, and we kind of trust them to do their job well, and then they have just given up on us, and they let us kind of run wild here. So we do our very best, I think, to interpret it as they intended, and do it that way, but we also embellish a little bit. And then they write stuff that's tailored to how they have seen us playing the characters over the years. So that all gets, there's like an interplay there, but it's not something that we really talk about. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think they don't really like us. Yes.
Hi, I was just curious, so we know it's in everyone's best interest to keep a nice, safe environment on the set, stunt doubles and all that for some reactions. Are there any instances where you fought really hard to be able to do something yourself, whether it went well or didn't?
So the question is, do I sort of personally try to push to do stunt stuff?
Yeah, if there is something that you thought was really cool,
I
you
mean,
didn't get a chance.
you know, I'm somebody that has like been fairly active in my life, and I feel like I'm fairly competent at a lot of different things. So, especially early on in my career, I often really pushed for getting to do that stuff because I figured I could do it, and I figured it would look cooler if it was really neat. The first time I did this movie called Finding Home that shot in Maine, and they had this beautiful antique wooden motorbike, and they wanted the boat to be pulled up close to this like rocky cliff, and wanted me to talk to somebody while the boat was like idling there, and they hired a ship's captain to come do the driving so that it wouldn't hit the rocks. And I was like, guys, I can do this. Anyway, the boat did end up taking on water when I hit the rocks. And it was cost about $50,000 to fix. And so I kind of learned a lesson, and the next time that I had something like that was on 24, which was pretty soon after that. My character, Alexis Friesen, was introduced on the show. And it was just this cool shot of like me putting on sunglasses, ominous music. It was right at the end of an episode. I was like, oh, there's a new big bad guy. And then I just drive my Jaguar down this ramp on a loading dock. And so the idea was like, sunglasses, put it on, and then cut to the wide shot where they can have a stunt driver drive it down. And I was like, guys, don't need a stunt driver to drive down a ramp. I can do this. I've done it a million times. And I left the entire exhaust system on the ground. Just scraped it off because I went too fast, and it was super embarrassing. So it was like it was in my first 45 minutes on set in that show. And everyone was like, oh my God, you just ruined $90,000 but yeah, there are moments on camera when we have to be the one that's, throwing the punch or whatever. There was a scene in which Bob Singer was directing, and he does this cool thing where he pulls from like 70s cinema. He gets these shots in his mind that are very cool and distinctive. And one of them was punching right toward the lens, and I'm knocking out Jared, who was possessed by Gadriel. Whatever. And so my thing was I just had to like throw a punch right toward the lens of the camera. And at that time, I guess because Jared wasn't on camera, Jensen wasn't on camera, everybody happened to be just hanging out at the monitors with Bob and a bunch of the rest of the crew watching. And it was like, action, and I threw my punch, and then everyone started laughing. And they were laughing, and Jensen came out, and he was like, dude, that was hilarious. That's going to be on the gag reel. That was really funny. And I was like, what? And he was like, oh, you weren't kidding? And apparently, like, this knockout punch, because the idea was this punch knocks out Gadriel, whatever, would look like this. So needless to say, whenever possible, they do like me to do my own fight scenes. I try to cut out as much of the stunt stuff as possible, because it just like makes it kind of like pass the badass.
That was also a humbling moment. Yes.
Hi there.
Thank you, Mark.
A couple seasons ago, when Metatron tricked you to releasing the angels from heaven, I was curious.
Yeah, what a dick. Yep.
Do you ever think that they'd ever find a stable return home, not only just with everybody as themselves equally, but with the gates open as well?
Oh, that hurt so much going in. All right, I'm gonna try to relax and let you go again. Can you give that to me one more time?
Down, easier to say. Do you ever think easiest way to put it, do you ever think that hell would be reopened fully with the gates? Again, back how it was before Metatron trick. Heaven. Sorry.
I think you need a timeout. What are you looking for here? What do you want? You want to have it open again?
Kinda, but at the same time, just kind of wondering what's going to happen with all the angels as they kind of disappeared, hands taking over control, trying to settle everything down. What's going to go on if they start to open it? Is there going to be more chaos?
It hurts so much. Gotta give me a warning at least. Okay, so what you're saying, basically, in a nutshell, is what? What? Heaven is... I'm lost. Do I think it's going to go back to the way it used to be? Sort of? Not right. Not right. Okay. Work with me on this.
Essentially how he felt being tricked by Metatron, but at the same time trying to...
I know, it's hard, right?
Question, but like, do you think they'll ever reopen a little portal? Without the portal having it set, there's no in-between, having to jump in,
Okay, great. You're creeped out by the fact that we always have to go to a playground. Me too. I mean... Like, honestly, put yourself in the mind of a parent in that neighborhood. Like, do not fucking let your kids go to that playground. There's always a bunch of creepy-ass, lecherous perverts just standing around the sandbox. Don't let your kids go there. You notice there are never any kids at the playground, right? Like the first couple of times we saw the portal, there were, kids in the background, no more. No children there, because everybody's like, everybody's got the memo to stay away. And it is pretty creepy, like showing up at the playground. I have intel on that because I work on the show. So I don't know if you know how it works, but we get the stuff you see on TV, we actually filmed some time ago, which means that I'm ahead of you guys in the show. Spoiler alert. So I can tell you anything you want to know. You want to know everything? No! On stage and they're just like, they had a nervous breakdown, they're like, I'm just going to tell everything that happened in the show. Like, we'll ruin it for everybody. I'm not going to be that person right now. I will tell you that your little sandbox situation is going to figure prominently into upcoming episodes. I will tell you that. Yes. Yes. Sandcastles for everybody. Yes. 5. Yes. Hi.
Hi, my name is Sonia. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Very nervous.
Nervous? Really? Does talking about it make it better?
I guess so, yeah.
Really? I'm surprised. I was actually bringing it up because I thought it would make it worse.
You lose.
Okay, all right. That's how we're gonna play. What have you got for me?
First of all, I just want to thank you for everything that you do, political activism, your charity work, and also all the silly stuff you
Are you Canadian? You guys love our president, right?
No.
There must be a Trump supporter in Canada somewhere. There's one. We have one. So that's good. That's something. I mean, I think I probably would be a Trump supporter if I lived in Canada because I think that he's like bringing America so far down that there's a part of Canada that's got to be like, it's schadenfreude. It's like, oh, look at America, we're not, you're not laughing at us for being your hat anymore, are you? We're no longer Canada's no longer America's hat. It's the lid on the toilet. I don't know, I'm just carrying on the metaphor that Rich started before I got on stage. Okay, but enough about my beloved country.
My question is about Darius.
Oh, great, yes.
A couple weeks ago, he posted on Twitter that you sent him a video saying he borrowed your sweater and you wanted it back.
Yes?
I just want to know if you got your sweater back and what your stance is on that, considering we kind of know you borrow a lot of your wardrobe from your friends.
What is that supposed to mean? Wait, seriously, what are you referencing when you say that I borrow a lot of my wardrobe from my friends? You can say it, it's alright.
You seem to wear the same clothes as Jensen, and or he borrows yours, or you shop at the same place, and you also said that
It's easy for our clothes to get mixed up, that's all. You know, when you put it on. The truth of the matter is, there was this funny little phase where Jensen was like, you know what, he got made fun of by somebody for wearing the same clothes twice at conventions, like in pictures, like he wore that the last time I took a picture with you. So he's like, all right, I'm just gonna wear different clothes every time. But then, we do enough conventions, so you have to get a lot of shirts. And then he's like, well, I'm gonna throw out my shirts. Misha, you want my shirts? And I was like, sure. So now I'm wearing Jensen's hand-me-downs at conventions, and everyone's like, how the laundry get mixed up, guys? I've never gotten a cheer for a laundry joke before. It's a milestone for me. So my friend Darius and I, we've kind of like shared everything since we were 12 years old. When we met, I did not have, my family was pretty poor at the time, and his family was, reasonably well off, and I think by reasonably well off, they had plenty of money for groceries. And so I used to, his mom used to pack double lunch, and I used to eat an extra lunch from his family. Not that I didn't have lunch, but sometimes it was like food that was from Mix and Match that was like a few years. Mix and Match was the store in Greenfield, Massachusetts that sold food that couldn't legally be sold at the grocery store. So it was like damaged canned goods and things that were out of date. And somehow they had like this loophole where they could actually sell this stuff out of the back of this warehouse. It's since been closed down. But at the time, like all of my, our breakfast cereal would be like sometimes 5, 6, 7 years out of date. Very affordable though. But anyway, so sometimes the food was like not delicious. So I, and at one point, his grandfather, who was like a successful advertising guy in New York, bought him this like fancy $1,000 leather jacket. And I was like, wow, that is a really cool jacket. He's like, you like it? Here, you can have it. And he gave me his $1,000 leather jacket. And I was like, oh my God. So I treasured that thing for a long time. And then later, I gave him my car. And like we've sort of been going back and forth, just giving each other things that were of increasing value over time. But then that motherfucker I did not give him that. And that's bullshit. So I'm not talking to him. Oh my God, that is abusive. Why did they do that? Cowards.
Where's Rob? I can't find Rob. He's going to say, take the microphone. Like, Rob, what are you doing out here? Boo!
This is supposed to be on my side. They boo every time we take people off stage. Right?
I thought Misha was doing great and should stay longer. Boo, you boo!
So I keep going out, making the mistake of going out first, and boo, boo. And this time they shoved me out. Well, I'm not going out first.
Rob made the ludicrous suggestion that I come out first, and we all know that's asinine. So the band and I agreed that Rob was making a mistake, so we helped him get on stage. I mean, you have to admit.
I just love the power of Rich, because then Rich goes, boo, boo, and the audience goes, yeah! Lynch him, kill him! Hey man, that's really big of you. Really big of you.
Listen, man, I don't want to usurp Rob's authority. He's the guy who comes out here and gets booed. Who am I to take that job?
That's his gag. Yeah. That's his bit. How did it go backstage, by the way?
It was pretzel-worthy.
Yeah?
It's been snacks for days.
Did you guys get into the smoked meat?
Did you have the chicken?
It was because they call it smoked meat, and earlier he made the mistake of calling it pastrami.
Pastrami, yeah.
And they started throwing rotten tomatoes.
Wait, hold on. Misha, you call it pastrami? Boo! Boo! You should have told him better. Anywho, it was, I made sure that the green room was packed full of meat.
Yeah.
This is sad. Yes. Yeah. We had a very, very big bag of sausage. It's just delicious. Yeah. And we have turkey, and we have, well, you had some of the green.
How was this? Is it fun? Did your piano fun?
Yeah, it was great. I talked a little too much, I noticed. Like it's... But no, it was good. We covered some good ground. We talked about the past, we talked about the present, we talked about imaginary things a little bit.
I heard you guys talk about how yours and Jensen's laundry gets mixed up a lot.
So, did you hear the whole thing? Like, Jensen didn't want to wear the same stuff to conventions, but he didn't want to throw stuff out, and, they fit me, so I was like, you want this stuff? And I was like, absolutely. And then I wear it to conventions, not thinking like, people are gonna infer.
I've seen that shirt before.
They're not gonna complain. I haven't worn it before. It's packaging a new, vessel. So they should mind it. But people pay attention to like these minute details.
Yeah.
You know what, people? These fucking people. They've made schematics of what we've worn at every convention. And then there's like line. Here we can see it appeared in June of 2013. It reappears down here in Toronto 4 years later on Misha's body. So we can only infer that in between there, at one point, their laundry was lying in a pile together.
Well, our schematic
There
is
goes
we
sausage
the same
party.
thing.
They'd be like, well, they wore the jeans and the same shirt, and that took them through 2014, 2015, 2016. Then they got new toupees.
Yeah, so anyway, we did discuss that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I didn't know what she was getting at. I honestly was naive. I didn't know. She was like, oh, we know that you have some sharing of wardrobe. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because I thought she was going to get into some stuff that I would genuinely be ashamed of, but we didn't go there.
You're going to do some photographs tonight, you're going to do some autographs and that kind of thing, but then,
that's right.
what does a fancy fella like you, footloose in the city of Montreal, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? You going to club hop? You going to,
I'll probably,
drugs?
I'm gonna plan to go out to dinner at some point, because I heard that there's tasty food here.
Yeah.
And there's smoked meat. I hear there's some great sausage parties. Poutine. They really are harping on this poutine rivalry thing, which is driving me.
Who's the rival with?
Apparently Vancouver, like, their poutine is garbage, only, Montreal poutine is
I made the mistake of saying that
No Vancouver poutine will ever cross my diseased lips.
I made the mistake of saying that the poutine I had in Toronto was just as good.
Don't talk about that!
And I was like, well, it was poutine that Robin bought me. So, boo! I hear you! No, it was, I made that mistake.
Yeah, so and then, I don't know, I'll probably get in a couple of bar fights and drive a car over the road.
So, the huge.
Yeah, usually.
Okay, good stuff. Awesome. Well, it's been fun, buddy. We'll see you manana. Ladies and gentlemen, get your autograph.